It's Week 9 of the National Football League.
And we're going to look at J.J. McCarthy.
He's your top dog in the league this season, ranking first in passing yards. It's the Vikings and the Colts, next on EA Sports.
What better way to start off the afternoon than with some football, huh? It's time to get things started here on the NFL on EA Sports. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Up here in the booth, I'm Kate Scotts alongside Brock Heward. And Brock, now that we're into the November portion of our season, we've got a pretty good picture of who both of these teams, at least who we expect these teams to be from here on out.
Yeah, no question about it, Kate. They're through the opening rounds if this is a boxing match, right? In this season-long fight. Early issues been worked through, at least you hope so. And this is where they have to be in that groove as we push through the heart of the season. Any team with hopes beyond Week 18, they got to be figured out. Figure out who they are and what they are right now. Their biggest strengths and their most glaring weaknesses. In this game, it's about emphasizing those strengths, hiding those weaknesses, and playing some winning football.
Will Reichert has it all teed up. And we're off from US Bank Stadium. He'll bring it out from a couple yards deep. And a decent return ends as they bring him down inside the 30. So out come the Colts for their first offensive possession. Bringing them out to fourth overall pick, who unfortunately had that rookie season cut short at just 4 games. Good to have him back from Florida, Anthony Richardson.
A bit of an uneventful outing individually last week, Kate. A touchdown and a pick for him, but the lasting memory, there is no question about it. Walking off that field with the loss, that stings. No doubt he feels he could have done more to prevent that result, so expect to see a motivated individual taking snaps here this week.
He gets a couple on first, and they'll come up 2nd and 8.
Okay, that's a run that's hope. But if you see a bigger play on the ground later on, largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door, a bigger gap in the future.
8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this 2nd down. Going from the pistol, Richardson. Defense is there, and he's going down. For the moment, we've got a sack. We do, though, have a flag to sort out first before we can lock that in. Well, that play went for negative yards anyway, so no need for them to accept that penalty. Let's see what they went with on 3rd down. On the shotgun, it's Richardson. He's going to try to drop it in deep right. Almost an opening drive interception, but that winds up on the ground. Incomplete. It's going to bring up 4th down. The Colts ready for the punt. Brandon Powell on the return for the Vikings. Only punted once in last week's loss, and he gets this one away. And he's brought down before the return gets far. So we'll see the Vikings offense now for the first time. Leading them out, the 10th pick of the draft, coming off that national championship in Michigan, J.J. McCarthy.
He was on one last week, but it was too bad his teammates weren't on that ride with them. Look at all the yards he put up. You're assuming anytime you throw for that many yards, that much production, you've won in a blowout, but that wasn't the case. It does have him highly motivated and the rest of his guys to play at that level again, but this time find a way to win.
All right, so they like the results on the field, and they're going to decline this penalty. All right, here we go. Second down. They'll go play action here. It's McCarthy. His first throw is an interception. And the Colts are going to have it after his second interception of the season. Not the auspicious debut they'd certainly hoped for on that opening drive. The coverage, impressive, taking their first possession away with that interception.
Hey, it is tough to play a clean game in this league. Caliber defenders are awesome. You just hope that eventual missteps happen at a less meaningful moment than your opening series. You don't want to make it any harder to get your rhythm and get your passing game going.
This one goes for an even 25 yards. And it's good for an Indianapolis first down. Option give to Taylor. And they take it across the goal line for an Indianapolis touchdown. The Colts parlay the interception into points. It's a Jonathan Taylor touchdown. Well, Brock, he found himself some space to work, and from there, wow, all athleticism as he made his way into the end zone.
You got that right, Kate. Just that speed. You got to have some different gear when you get down here to the red zone. It's hard to score rushing touchdowns, and that running back sees the open space, he sees the green grass, and he finishes it off with 6.
Matt Gay on for the extra point. His kick is good, for the moment at least, as we've got a flag down on the field. I think they're going to get him for hitting the kicker.
Foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
So they tag him for roughing the kicker. And now this kickoff's going to come from the 50. Let's see if they locked in and try to stick him deep. Here's Gay now to handle the kickoff. And that one flies right on past the end zone. Didn't make an effort to hit the landing area at all. So they're going to give them a drive starting at the 30. The Vikings and their QB J.J. McCarthy returning to the field on offense. And as we play through November, you can see that this hot start has continued. He's the NFL's leader in touchdown passes. Has him on the quick hitter. And this one's brought to a halt at about the 36-yard line.
That is a textbook first down completion. Sets up second and very manageable and creates space to take that shot downfield.
Operating from the gun, it's McCarthy. Grabbed by Jordan Addison. And that's good yardage with a new set of downs.
That's just great instincts. Go air it out on second down rather than just play conservative and run it. They hit a weak point in the coverage and don't need to worry about third down at all.
Taps it quick to the receiver coming across. And he won't salvage that. It's a loss on the play. Upping the tempo with some hurry-up offense. Here's 2nd and 14. Short pass brought in. And he's caught after a gain of about 2. Zaire Franklin there to make the tackle.
He's just one of those guys, Kate. Even when he's not open, he's still a target thanks to that physicality and his ability to just play bully ball. They don't like forcing into coverage, but sometimes when you got a bully like him that can create space, you just find a way to get him the ball.
McCarthy throwing on 3rd down. That's Jefferson. He's got it. And they get this down to the 44 before he stopped.
You can earn your money in the NFL in all sorts of different ways, but defensively, in a league where you're just not hitting as much in training camp, you're not tackling as much as they got to in the old days, when you can make a play in the open field, keep them short like that, I promise you some money will follow.
Offense staying out there. It's 4th and 1. They'll run for this. And he's going to be brought down at the 35-yard line. It's an 8-yard gain. What a great call on 4th down. It keeps this drive moving.
Yeah, I know you can read your partner right now, Kate. You know I'm smiling because that was a callback to the early days of football when fullbacks, fullbacks, not running backs, they were the one that led the ground game. He didn't stop at a yard or 2, He ripped off a nice chunk for them right there.
Well, the pressure nearly got to him, but still a good play defensively as that one falls incomplete. First time this game they've looked to him. And now they face second down.
That is a DB's best friend, pressure. That pressure earned that incompletion. They came in before he could find a target and hit him to alter that last-second attempt to get rid of it.
So after the incompletion, here comes the second down call. Finds a seam down the middle. The 17-yard line. It goes as a gain of 19 yards. And that's going to give the Vikings the first down.
I'm sure Coach, play caller, doesn't mind making the job a little bit easier. You know, play calling's a lot simpler and easier when you count on the offense to move the chains on those early downs.
They motion a receiver left. From the red zone now. Throw left side, brought in by Hawkinson. Give him about 16 yards on that gain, Brock, and it sets him up with first and goal.
Good offenses. Okay, good play callers know how to utilize their personnel. They know where they wanted him. They wanted him on a route in space where he could make that initial play comfortably, then go to work after it.
This offense in position now. It's first and goal. He finds him right side. And just gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Defense all over that throw. You could just smell it. They just smelled that football coming their way, and that's as good as an incompletion. And they're going to be in a good spot. Second down coming up.
The nose of the football inside the one. Here's second and goal. H.N. He runs it across. Touchdown. The Vikings reach pay dirt for the first time this game. Devon H.N. with the touchdown. Now it's Will Reichert on for the extra point. The point after splits the uprights. And the Vikings tie this game 7-7. Here's Reichert set to kick this away. Returnable from the 1. And pretty solid field position starting out here, Brock. He's tackled at the 29. The Indianapolis offense ready to take another swing at it. And after the impressive drive we just witnessed, you gotta imagine that they are hoping to respond with something similar.
Yeah, and I don't love to use the word can't, right? But this can't be a 3-and-out for this offense right here. They got to give their defense a chance to catch a breath and turn some of the momentum in the building. You know, Kate, they always say that QB clock. You know what it's more like? It's more like an alarm, especially in a situation like that. And it's a good thing you woke up to it, able to make something out of nothing and at least keep them moving forward.
And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
It's easy for me to say up here in the friendly confines of the booth, King, that was not the right read. And you hate seeing him absorb yet another hit at the end of the play. You never want him taking unnecessary shots throughout this game.
The screen pass falls incomplete.
You can't cover it much better than that. Really well covered, Kate, on that play. There just simply was not a window for him to sneak that throw in.
Another punt coming up for Rigoberto Sanchez. He sends this away, and oh, this is going to be a field flipper. And he can't evade the coverage team for much. They stop him before he gets really anything on that return. That punt finishes as a 60-yard effort. And it's going to be Vikings football. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. From the shotgun, McCarthy. Completed over the middle. And he'll get it up near the 38-yard line before going down. They get 13 on the pickup. And it'll bring up a Minnesota 1st down.
That is what elite offenses are all about. Why worry about 3 downs when you need only 1? Move the chains in one play and keep driving that defense backwards.
Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop it. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up.
And look at that. All that effort and success from the previous play, it is gone. Credit to this defense who snapped and cleared. That's part of this game. You got to snap and clear. Give up a big play, come back and make a big one for yourself. And they do get home. That's it.
And he'll have it down to the 44-yard line. A very productive play from the rookie QB out of Michigan. That gets them a 1st down.
If they get a handful of these types of plays per game, the pass game coordinator is going to be one happy camper.
From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. From the shotgun, McCarthy. He's got him. That's Addison. And he's brought down after pushing to that 35-yard line. Options are open here. It's 2nd and inches. He's contained at the line for no gain. Quiddy Pay there to take him down. Nothing for them on 2nd down, and now it's 3rd and 1.
When you rush the passer, it's kind of like tracking down a runner. That same pass, same athleticism comes to life. He looked pretty good hunting his prey right there.
Looking to throw on 3rd and 1. Hutchinson wheels it in. And they take him down right along the 30. A 5-yard gain on the play. And that's going to give the Vikings the 1st down. Here's McCarthy to throw. Couldn't connect across the middle. It's an incomplete pass. Very fortunate that didn't go as a turnover. And it sets up 2nd down.
You feeling lucky? Well, do you? Well, he should, because the quarterback got away with one right there. That was an easy pick dropped by the defense.
Second down carry for Achane. And he runs this one down to the 22-yard line. A solid 8-yard gain there, and now they're going to have 3rd and 2.
Well, that doesn't net a first down. You get yards like that in the run game, you will take it in the NFL.
3rd and just 2 to go. Now it's McCarthy. Complete beyond the marker. And he'll go down here at the 16. That one ends up a gain of 6. And it'll bring up a Minnesota first down.
You're not going to last long in the National Football League if you don't convert a good chunk of your 3rd downs. Nice find there to continue the series.
First down from the red zone. The throw is caught. And they'll advance this down to the 5-yard line. A nice pickup of 11 there, Brock, and they'll have 1st and goal to figure out.
I love throwing on 1st down. And when you see a 1st down pass just like that, it's taking advantage of a matchup you plan for, and you go out and execute.
Now McCarthy has it down close. And that's a Minnesota touchdown. He hung in there as long as he could. A lot of quarterbacks would have bailed out. And it was what you talked about, Brock, that courage that kept the chance for the touchdown alive.
Yeah, that touchdown's going to show up on his stat sheet making the catch, or the quarterback stat sheet for making the throw. But hey, can we put some touchdowns up there for the big boys up front? It was their blocking and buying of time for that play that led to the score.
Reichert on for the point after. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Vikings take the lead here, 14. Here's Reichert set to kick this away. Fielded just shy of the end zone. Big lick from the coverage team there. That's going to stop the return before it can get to the 30. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Taylor gets it to begin the drive. He cuts it to the right sideline. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a 1st down. They won't snap it in time. That is going to be the end of the 1st quarter. Neither side separating much so far. More from U.S. Bank Stadium after the break. Ready now for our 2nd quarter. The Colts have the football. They'll try to attack this deficit starting with 1st and 10. Taylor again. And it took a couple of guys to hold him down there after a gain of just 1.
You know, not a ton of yards, but still showing that commitment to the ground game. The type of run that keeps the defense from loading up in coverage and focusing entirely on that passing game.
He's got his man. That's Alec Pierce. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. It's a gain of 27 yards to move the chains.
This entire play, Kate, depends on how well he can separate from his man. You get man-to-man coverage, it's really about 2 things: separation and trust. Because QBs want to throw it before he breaks. That's the trust. And then they got to believe that that separation can create the big play down the field.
And this throw is knocked away, incomplete. His first target doesn't lead to his first catch. And we'll see what they do here on 2nd down. Off the play fake, here's Richardson. Pocket isn't holding up, they're able to drop it. That pushes him back, 3rd down coming up.
In a situation like this, you got to be a fixer. I mean, this game is hard, and you get into passing, known passing situations, it gets even more difficult. But when you don't get rid of the ball and you take another sack, you make this 3rd down a near impossibility.
Sideline throw reeled in by Downs.
Dude, I can't tell you how good that is. Anticipating the outcome, having the ball on the way before the receiver's head even turns, and puts it on him so that receiver can easily get out of bounds for the nice gain.
Looks like they will indeed try it, 4th and 2. They're going Taylor. And he's caught behind the line for a loss. And that run won't come close. That's a turnover on downs.
And what a battle of wills we just got to see. Fighting in the trenches on a fourth down run. Trying to play conservative, keep it on the ground to power it across. But there was no overcoming up front. Just as equally motivated to get off the field.
Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with H. And he breaks even, but that's it. Brought down at that line of scrimmage. Quiddy Pay there to take him down. Call it no gain on that run, and they face 2nd and 10. McCarthy now, blitz coming. Finds him over the middle. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a 1st down. Well, he sure has come out throwing a good ball today, and the passing game has really been clicking early on thanks to his efforts.
Yeah, his play's really elevated the start his pass catchers have been able to have as a result. And you know what they're all thinking right now? This could be a game where we all get to put up some serious numbers, especially if he keeps throwing it like this.
They've got a man in motion. Here's McCarthy, 1st and 10. Finds him on the slant. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs.
Move the chains! Gotta move them chains! Build momentum. Keep that defense on its heels.
Set of downs for him from the 46. Throwing on 1st, it's McCarthy. Into the hands of Jefferson, complete. And he'll cross the 50 and start pushing onto the opposing side of the field.
That is the epitome of staying on schedule. That kind of completion right there on 1st down. Well, it opens up the entirety of the playbook for 2nd down. And the 3rd and short in your back pocket, you can get even more aggressive and take that shot.
To the air, McCarthy. He fires one deep down the middle. Really pushing the envelope on 2nd down, but the deep shot doesn't work.
Well, you got to have a short memory in the NFL. Incompletions happen. Now you got to make the adjustment and go get the next one.
Here he is to throw on 3rd and 2. Catch is made down the right sideline. And he officially gets them into the red zone before going out at the 20. A gain of 27 yards there. And that's going to give the Vikings the 1st down.
They've run this 12-yard out route, Kate, at the combine, well, all the way back to last century when I had to throw it. In this throw, this is a big boy throw. This is a differentiator. Can you make that deep out throw on time, on rhythm, and accurately? Well, that was teaching tape right there.
They'll come up 1st and 10. Working inside the red zone. Oh, not like this. An interception ends that drive. That's Julian Blackman. And the Colts will take over as he records his 1st interception of our season. Inside the red zone, they could feel how tight they were to the goal line. And then bam, Brock, they're off the field after a clutch interception.
I tell you what, football's the ultimate team game, but this is a situation where an individual picks up all 10 of his guys out there on the field. Somebody else is going to pick up the tab at dinner tonight for him.
He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete.
There's the importance of staying in phase as a defender. He was all over him in coverage, and that really did help force the incompletion.
No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. From the gun, Taylor. And it's going to be about a 3-yard pickup in the end. Ivan Pace able to make the stop.
I think one thing you learn, Kate, when you transition from college to the NFL, not every run is going to be a big play. Some of them, well, they're just destined to end in a minimal gain, and some of them will set up that critical play action for later.
Someone stepped in. It's intercepted. And the Vikings get the football as he makes his third interception of this season. Well, no doubt there was some doom and gloom on the sideline following their interception, right? But a little bit of new life now as their defense picks him up and gets it right back for him.
Hey, I am all for a nice little game of one-upmanship between these two defenses. You picked our guy off, fine. We'll answer right away. See how you follow that up.
With that play clock getting perilously close to zero, Kevin O'Connell calls for a timeout. And they'll have 2 left to work with here in the first half. So good field position to start with for the Vikings this drive. 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He's looking to throw. Complete over the middle. And he's going to be brought down after reaching the 43. And he's up across 200 yards now in this opening half. That's beyond simply a good start for him. This is the type of game where he's been taking the lead on carrying his offense forward however he can. Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. From the 43. Gets him on the quick hitter. And they make this stop. I'm going to say about the 37-yard line. That's good for 7 yards. And it'll bring up a Minnesota first down.
Nice to see that connection, that chemistry working between the two of them.
Markers reset, ball at the 37. 1st and 10, here's McCarthy. Has his man, it's Addison. And he's brought down at about that 27-yard line. They get an even 10 on that play. And that's going to give the Vikings the first down.
It sure seemed like he knew exactly where he was going with that right off the snap.
And they've got themselves another 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, a give to A.J. Still has room inside the 15. And finally, they catch up to him at the 11. That's 16 on the pickup. And it'll bring up a Minnesota first down.
That's pretty good right there now. You don't always expect a sizable game when you run it on 1st down. You just want some yards to set up an easier 2nd down play. But they will take that execution every time.
From the red zone now. And that's incomplete. A little lucky there, too. Nearly picked off on 1st down.
That was it. That was their chance to escape this series. They were looking for a way out without giving up any points, and that was their ticket off the field. Unfortunately, he just couldn't quite hang on.
McCarthy trying again on 2nd down. This one's caught. And he's short of the first after a mild gain.
It's not just imperative that a quarterback knows man or zone. Same thing for a receiver, especially on a drag route. When he sees zone coverage like that, just settle down, find the soft spot, and give your quarterback a chance.
3rd and 4 coming up now. Operating from the gun, it's McCarthy. Touchdown, Minnesota! To rock this offense, looking sharp here in the first half as they extend their lead.
You know, and when things are going well, sometimes you really just get into a groove. And this is a unit that's putting the pieces together.
Record there to tack on the extra point. And the Vikings double their lead to 14. Here's Reichard set to kick this away. Returnable from the 2. And he's walloped just as he gets across the 25. What a hit. He's down shy of the 30. The Colts have running back Jonathan Taylor headed out with the rest of the offense. And coming off the interception, a good chance to reestablish some momentum as they get set. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Looking to throw here and shake off that previous INT. He misfired on that one. It's behind his man.
That play right there, Kate, that just goes to show you, you can't take any completion for granted. Even some of the shortest passes in the game plan.
Couldn't connect on 1st. It's 2nd down. Straight ahead with Taylor. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a 1st down. It's a 30-yard play, Brock, and they've got a fresh set of downs.
No frills, nothing fancy. That was just a good old offensive line dominated in the trenches. And that sprung him to get to the 2nd level and beyond.
So the big play gets him inside the opposing 45, Brock, with a new set of downs to boot. Going to the ground again on 1st. He doesn't get much beyond the line, a yard at most. That tackle made by Blake Cashman. Manages just a yard on 1st down. Now it's going to be 2nd and 9. They go again with Taylor. And once again, he doesn't manage much before getting brought down. They've been 3 that time. That's going to bring up 3rd and 7.
They got some positive yards. That's a good thing. But too many plays like that, it just is too hard to pile together, get 1st downs against the better defenses in this league.
Gets this to Woods. And he's able to get this to the 32 before going down.
All you can do is shake your head sometimes. Sure, the pass play works. They come up just an inch or 2 short for the 1st down.
Less than a yard needed here on 4th. Trying to push this past the marker. And he's able to drive this to the 29 before the stop. That was the biggest 3-yard gain you're going to see because instead of a turnover on downs, Brock, it gets them a 1st.
Come on now. Was there any go-to right there? That was always going to be a run play. No problem converting on 4th.
1st down throw here from Richardson. Bails out of the pocket. Oh. So is the defense, and they take him down. And the big play drives them backward. 2nd down coming up. So it's the 2-minute warning here for Minneapolis. It's the Colts dealing with 2nd and 13. Another try following the sack. This one is tipped away and incomplete. Good positioning to make a play on it. That forces 3rd down.
That throw came pretty clean out of his hand. Just looked like it didn't get through the defense clean enough. Somebody tips it away and saves a potential completion.
3rd and long. It's Richardson. That sails over his target, incomplete, and now it's 4th down. He was looking for Michael Pittman Jr. So that brings up 4th and long. Here's Matt Gay for the Colts field goal. He'll try to connect on a 50-yarder. And this kick is good. He needed to get all of it there, and he did. And that'll get him back to 11.
A lot of them may make it look automatic, but you get this deep, and those field goals are far from a certainty. It took all his concentration, every bit of his strength, to send that puppy through.
And in the end, he's able to get it to what used to be a touchback. It's at the 25 after the return. and set, 1st and 10. Here's A-Chain running right. He's only going to make... Kenny Moore there to make the stop. No progress on 1st down, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Where one defender failed, well, his buddy was there to swarm to the ball and make that play just as it gets to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10, need to get some positive yardage here. Motion man right is Jefferson. Finds a man right side. Decent gain here, but short of the first. Timeout taken by the offense, their 2nd. And they still have one in their pocket for what's left of this half. Third down, 1 yard to go. From the shotgun, McCarthy. Complete beyond the marker. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot. That's an 11-yard pickup, and it gives them the 1st down.
You know, they call that the money down for a reason, because you're just simply not going to last long in the NFL if you don't convert a good portion of your third downs. It's the money down, and nice to see them roll the dice and continue the series.
2nd and 10 now. Ooh, would have been a big gainer if they connected, but they could not. Instead, 3rd down coming up.
You know, there's not a lot of tight ends who are true weapons this far down the field. Not a lot of cover guys who can match up with them in terms of size. They tried to get it to him in a spot where he could win it, but no connection to be made.
McCarthy throwing on 3rd down. Completed over the middle. And he's taken down directly on that 43-yard line. Pickup of 12 on that play. And that's going to give the Vikings the 1st down.
That's what we call situational football. You spend all week working on your nickel passing game package to take advantage of 3rd downs just like that.
2nd and 10, need to get some positive yardage here. From the shotgun, McCarthy. Oh, he put some heat on this deep ball, left side. Anticipated the quick staccato pass there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
I know a DB in the stat sheet loves to see INT and not PBU, but as soon as he realized a pick wasn't possible, he does the next best thing and knocks it away.
They'll go play action here. It's McCarthy. That's caught for the 1st. It's a gain of 22. And it'll bring up a Minnesota 1st down.
Okay, when you watch the combine, you'll watch guys try to make this throw, and without chemistry, it's so hard to execute. That was picture perfect. That's a QB and receiver on the same page, because that route, that deep out to the field, that takes just a different level of connectedness.
Here's McCarthy, 1st and 10. Oh no, they get him yet again! And the Colts make the defensive stand and come through with a turnover in the final moments of the half.
Well, I'll admit, man, I got to admire the guts, the willingness to continue to challenge the coverage, even with 2 interceptions already. But there's his 3rd strike. And no, it's not baseball, but he definitely has to be smarter with what he's doing with the football.
All right, keeping it simple. They're just going to call a give right up the middle. It's it ahead, has about 5 yards. With Stephon Gilmore stopping that play. Halfway there on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. It's halftime in Minneapolis. With the Vikings out in front, not everyone's a fan of the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll keep our focus right here. Let's get back to football with the start of the second half. Here's Gay now to handle the kickoff. It's Brandon Powell with the return. And he's going to make this to the 28 before going down. The Vikings and Justin Jefferson ready to go to work again offensively. And as he approaches the 100-catch mark for the season, you can see that his pace has been among the best in the NFL so far. Handoff headed right. It's Akers. He's able to drive that pile about a yard. Zaire Franklin there to make the tackle. Only gets a yard there to make it 2nd and 9.
The one thing I could say positive about the execution of that play is at least he didn't go backwards.
He'll get this to Jefferson. And he's tackled after gaining a handful.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense.
He was too far downfield at the time of the pass. Gotta stay within a yard of the line. That'll back him up.
Still 2nd down.
Back to the line they go. It's 2nd down. Now it's McCarthy. That's caught. Devon Achane. And he's got a decent gain before being brought down.
That's a defense's goal, right, Kate? Just get us to 3rd down so we can have a chance to get off. Ended up being the target, and they were able to keep him short of the sticks.
Finds him over the middle. And that's good yardage with a new set of downs. And he has stayed productive throughout this game. He's up to the 300-yard mark after that last completion. Really has been a solid showing for him finding his targets. New slated downs to approach here from the 40. Second half begins with a run by Achane. And he works his way for a gain of 4.
That is just a good, solid run right there. I know, that's pretty basic commentary, but sometimes football can be basic. It keeps you on schedule, that kind of yards per carry, and you move the sticks.
2nd and 6 coming up here. Achane again. And not much doing. He stopped quickly. Give him 2 on the run. That's going to set him up with 3rd and 4.
I don't mind that call on the early downs. Give that defense something to think about. You got the inside run between the tackles, and whether it's jet sweeps or a little swing pass, or in that case a toss, make sure you threaten to the outside.
That one's out and cut on the right side. And this one doesn't go far.
Those kind of completions are so frustrating, Kate. It's like a putt. You got it on line, you feel good about it's going in the hole, but you never want to leave it short.
Offense staying out there. It's 4th and 1. Here's a give. Fullback headed up the gut. And he's officially in enemy territory now. They're going to give him the opposing 49. That was the biggest 3-yard gain you're going to see because instead of a turnover on downs, Brock, it gets them a first. Here's McCarthy to throw. Short pass brought in. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They get 22 on that one. And that's going to get the Vikings the first down. Looking to throw, McCarthy. Able to find Achane. And they get this down to the 12-yard line before being stopped. The end result there, 15 yards and a first. Running with Achane out of the gun. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain. Give him around 6. That's going to make it 2nd and 4. McCarthy throwing here. Into traffic, complete. And he takes it in for the Minnesota touchdown. The Vikings grow the lead coming out of halftime. Well, Brock, not much to say other than the fact that this offense on point. They're just clicking today.
Just rolling. I mean, this is clinic. This is what I call teaching tape. Being well prepared, and more importantly, going out there and executing at a high level.
So we've got a stoppage now. Figured this might be coming. We're going to take another look to see if this was indeed a touchdown. Ooh, it doesn't get much closer than this, Brock. Did that ball in any way break the plane of the end zone?
You know how I like to look at this, Kate? Imagine a plane of glass going from the front end of that end zone straight in the air. In any part of the ball, any part of it just touches the plane of that glass, and this is a touchdown.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
No change to the call on the field, so that play's going to remain a touchdown. Reichert on for the point after. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Vikings push their lead to 18. Here's Reichert set to kick this away. From a couple of yards deep, this is going to come out. This return makes it up to the 25. The Colts ready to take the field. They're running out of time to get this game into a more manageable spot, Brock. We've got a 3-score deficit, and we're in quarter number 3. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Richardson. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. Tough one to retain through that hit. So it's 2nd down coming up. Shotgun, hand off to Taylor. And he works through a lane for a gain up to the 30. There's 5 on that play. They need 5 more now on 3rd down.
You gain that kind of yardage in the run game, and you're going to gain the trust of your offensive coordinator. Plays like that, runs like that, set the table for everything else in the playbook.
3rd and short yardage here, Richardson. And there's a man there. It's intercepted. Picked up by Stephon Gilmore. And the Vikings get the football as he makes his 3rd interception of this season. Well, no doubt they envision that as the start of a second-half push for the lead. But the defense, well, defense had other ideas, Brock, protecting their team's advantage and taking possession back on the first play of the series.
Not the way you needed to start the half if you were thinking comeback, but exactly the way to start the half if you're trying to take this lead and step on it. That's a defender who sensed the need for a splash play and delivers.
And he'll advance this down to the 38-yard line. We'll get a stoppage now. Looks like we have someone banged up after that run in need of some attention. Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. Oh, he taps it quick for the receiver coming across here. And he's brought down for a loss.
Hey, look, in the right situation, you catch a team off guard. Well, this could be a tremendous play for some big yards. But in the wrong situation, you get hit in the mouth right behind the line of scrimmage.
Has him on the quick hitter. They'll have the 1st down and even more. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They get 27 on the play. And it'll bring up a Minnesota 1st down.
Man, I love that effort, adding as much as possible that catch. while earning the first down. That's called yards after catch, and it's what coaches want from all their pass catchers on the roster.
They'll keep this drive moving and come to the line for 1st and 10. A-Chain running to the right. And he has it down to the 8-yard line on the play. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 6.
You know, that's a good run right there to keep the offense on schedule. If he can average that type of yards per carry, this guy's going to be more than all right with letting him lead the show.
Second and 6 coming up here. With that play clock getting perilously close to 0, Kevin O'Connell calls for a timeout, as that'll leave him with just 2 to use the rest of the way. Second and 6 coming up here. Play clock down to 0, and the flags come out.
Delay of game, offense.
Must have lost sight of the play clock there, Brock, because the quarterback could have snapped it in time, but instead, they take the penalty. Man in motion here. They'll run here, following the penalty. And this is down to the 5-yard line before they can stop him. It's an 8-yard gain, and things looking a whole lot better now. 3rd and 3 upcoming.
So much to like about that run, Kate, particularly what he was able to get out of it. The defense, I think, feels a little fortunate they were able to track him down before an even bigger...
And he's in for the touchdown. The Vikings pick it off and get points on the ensuing drive. Devon A-Chan with the touchdown. It's what every player who scores a touchdown wants to do, Brock. He wants to get right back there and put another 6 on the board.
I've never met an NFL player content with one end zone trip in a game.
Nope.
Yeah, if you're content, you're not making it to this league. You get one, you're instantly thinking of another, and the fortunate few are able to actually deliver on it.
Reichard on for the point after. The point after splits the uprights. And the Vikings grow their lead yet again. Here's Reichard set to kick this away. Returnable from the 1. He's brought down at what looks like the 24-yard line. The Colts and Anthony Richardson headed back onto the field. And as we can see here... And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He's looking to throw. Escapes the pocket. And the Vikings rush brings him down. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up.
In theory, Kate, that's exactly what complementary man coverage is supposed supposed to look like. The DBs, well, they're sticky on the back end of it. The front end, that pass rush, it makes an impact that gets home. But of course we know, it's not that simple. It is really tough to lock down a full field for more than a second or two.
He pushes it up across the 30 before going out. Give him 9 yards there, partner. A strong gain, and now a much more manageable 3rd and 4.
I'm not kidding you, Kate. A run of that length at the NFL level, honestly, is the equivalent of a run of 15-plus at the high school level. It's hard in the run game to make yards, and they just got a very successful one.
And he stopped cold at the spot. Ooh, he paid for that one, but hey, still enough for that first down. Shotgun snap now to Richardson. It's a completion to Michael Pittman Jr. And he made a bid for midfield there, but stopped on his own side at the 49. Give him 11 yards, Brock, and a fresh set of downs.
Well, that is pretty darn impeccable timing between the two. To hit a curl route of that length, it takes great anticipation and precision by the quarterback, and the receiver on the other end finishing it, doing his job.
Taylor gets it on 1st and 10. And he drives this across midfield and down into enemy territory. Only 2 yards, and it brings up 2nd and 8. Taylor now up the middle. And he'll get this through the midfield stripe and starts pushing into Vikings territory. Give him 4 on that run. That's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
You know, this is an offense that will emphasize the ground game at different points of each and every contest. And as long as they can reliably get games like this, it's not going to change anytime soon.
And it's incomplete, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
I think if you look up in phase in the defensive encyclopedia, that is a picture-perfect.
4th down, and on comes the punt team, and the kick's away. This one carries out of bounds. Not the greatest field position awaiting them. It's spotted at the 11. The Vikings now set to take the... Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. It's an option right that begins this drive. He'll cobble together a yard there. Quiddy Pay there to take him down. Just a gain of 1, and that brings up 2nd and 9. They pitch it to Achane. Up the sideline past the 25. And he's finally brought down at the 30. Give him 18 yards on that play, Brock, and it gets him a 1st down.
He easily had the yardage for a first, but he was hungry for a lot more. I think that tackle prevented something that was going to be a lot bigger than just a 1st down pickup.
Thankfully, only 1 quarter to play now. We've reached the end of 3 in this lopsided affair. It's the Vikings with it to begin the 4th, and this game entering blowout territory. First and 10 now from the 30. And they'll pitch it out to him. Another big rip for him. And he's finally marked down at the 46-yard line. It's a 24-yard gash, and it gives them the 1st down.
Okay, you certainly love to see the yards on that pitch play, the success in the execution of it. But keep that one in mind, because what that can do is set up the rest of the playbook. play action off of that. Gets a defense running sideline to sideline to wear him out. That's a play that can pay big dividends down the road.
New set of downs for him from the 46. First down, and they go right back to him. And he'll come up with a gain of 3 on the run up the middle.
That's the kind of run play that feels like tug-of-war at field day. And you're just not moving the other side. Just a short run. Neither side feels particularly good about it, and we'll move to the next.
Second down now, 7 to go. Hands it to the receiver here in motion. Oh, look at this sweep. And the defense is all over this one for a big loss.
You know what that felt like to me, Kate? That felt like a little bit of overthinking, where he's just waiting for the perfect lane and the breakaway run. But against defenses in this league, you hesitate, you get tackled for a loss.
Achan gets this on the draw. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
When you get stuffed on a third down draw, it's really hard to look at your receivers. You come off the field, Kate, and you find yourself on a different bench because they want the ball. They want to be a difference maker on 3rd and 6+, and a draw going backwards, that makes no friends.
That punt goes unanswered. No return there. And the Colts will take over. Here comes the Colts offense now for another possession. And the open lanes, the beautiful windows that he no doubt dreamt about before this game, Brock, well, they just haven't been there. It's almost like the defense challenged itself between the pass rush and the secondary. Who could make more big plays here?
Yeah, you're talking about the difference between the practice field and then the reality of this game. Sacks, interceptions, and while we won't be the final judge on which area this defense has been the biggest winner, we do know who the loser's been, the quarterback, who's had to deal with an excellent defensive showing.
They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Working from the gun, it's Richardson. Falls to the ground out left, incomplete. No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. Richardson back to throw. Finds Woods. And it's good yardage, but they tackle him short of the sticks.
Good luck defending that short yardage slant. Just not going to happen. There's a reason. This is a go-to play for just about any quarterback in every situation.
3rd and short here, trying to pass. We've got a screen to the running back. And he's going to be brought down up at the 28-yard line. They come through with a nice gain of 10 and a 1st down.
This dude's just simply got a nose for the marker no matter how they get him the ball, Kate. Hand it to him, and he sniffs out that 1st down. Get it to him on a screen, and it's no different. He surges ahead and keeps this drive moving.
Throw came out right as the defense got to him. That's an incomplete pass. No luck finding his receiver that time. So it'll be 2nd down. Throw again, Richardson. An all-around tough play for him. He took a shot on the release, and it definitely affected the throw. It's incomplete. So after that prior incompletion, we've got 3rd down. Back to throw. Here's Richardson. Complete beyond the marker. And they'll make the stop up at the 46-yard line. That'll go for an 18-yard gain. And it'll be 1st down, Colts.
I'm not sure how this defense let that guy slip through him like that. On 3rd down, nonetheless, he took that snap as an opportunity, and man, did he make an impact play.
New set of downs for him from the 46. 1st down throw here from Richardson. Too much lead on that throw. That falls incomplete ahead of his target.
Well covered on that play. Really not a large window for him to sneak that throw in.
So after the incompletion, here comes the second down call. Throwing now, Richardson. A quick slant into the hands of Downs. And they make the tackle at the 38. He finds him 16 yards and a new set of downs.
Sure seems like he knew exactly what he wanted, and he got it, going right where he wanted to with the ball off the snap.
New set of downs for him at the 38. Richardson now on 1st and 10. On target to his man Taylor. And they've got him behind the line for a big loss.
Well, there was never a play in any playbook I ever saw designed for a lost yardage play when you throw the ball. But if there's any solace, at least it was first down. A couple more chances to make up for it.
Everyone's prepped. It's second down now. Throwing it again here. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. So after getting that pass away, he's in some visible discomfort. Training staff out now to see how serious it may be. No connection on the last play, and now it's third down. Richardson. Hauled in by Downs. And he'll get this down to the 33-yard line.
You know, I like the completion. You never turn down a completion. That's just not the right throw to make in that spot to move the chains.
Offense going for it here. 4th and 5. Trying to throw for it with Richardson. Headed out right. No place to go. They get him to the turf and force a turnover on downs.
Well, this play never had a chance between the pressure at home and the coverage downfield. QB still got to find a way to throw it up and give somebody an opportunity to make a play.
So good field position to start with for the Vikings this drive. 1st and 10. They pitch it out to him here. And we'll turn our focus now to the flag down as he ends up out of bounds.
Holding offense.
A game they were pretty happy with goes away via the penalty. And now we're going to wait to see how they respond. The lateral goes haywire. It's out. And this is going to be a turnover. The defense forces the big play. Well, that didn't take long, Brock. One play, and they're back out there.
Well, that's how a defense can make you awfully happy as an offensive player, especially when you screw it up and you fumble. The defense picks up that off.
Got him deep behind the line. Oh, the ball is out. Oh, they got in some pain out there. So we'll get a stoppage here as he's helped by trainers. Offense to the line for second down. Another try following the sack. Gets this one to Pierce. And he's short of the first after a mild gain.
You know, Kate, over the years, I've heard defensive coordinators say, hey, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. You got to earn the right for me to call blitzes. And when you call a blitz and you don't get home and you don't hit the quarterback, you've earned nothing.
They come to the line here, and this is 3rd and 6. Here's Richardson. He'll dump this one off to his running back, complete. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
I call this quarterback's best friend. Some call it a safety valve, some call it automatic, but it's sure nice as a quarterback when you got a trusty running back over the middle of the field that you could depend on.
Working inside the red zone. He takes a cut, and the ball comes out. And no turnover. It's going to stay with the offense. That's a gain of 13, and it sets them up with 1st and goal. ahead with Taylor. And he's caught behind the line for a loss.
This is one of those plays that I wish we had the huddle mic'd up, Kate, because I can assure you that offensive line in their own way is telling that running back, sorry, we did not give you any chance.
Another shot for Taylor. And he barrels across for the touchdown. The Colts making the scoreboard look a touch better. It's a Jonathan Taylor touchdown. That was a great response, Brock. After they got driven backwards on first down, they go right back to the ground and score just one play later.
Yeah, and I think if you and I were in the huddle down there after that first down loss, I think we would have felt a whole bunch of pride. Give me another shot, and boy, did they deliver.
Gay to add the extra point. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Colts make it an 18-point game. Not really much of an avenue left for a comeback in this one, but they still have to try the onside kick here. And this is covered by the Vikings hands team. And he has it to the 42 before they make the stop. Well, I guess they kind of had to do it here, Brock.
Yeah, it's called a have to. Yeah, kind of have to at this point of the game, huh?
Okay, but like most things in this game, it did not work out for them.
Yeah, let's face it, even if they do recover that, probably not going to find a way to win. But this is a time where you work on things, where you do build to the following week. Got to find a way to flush this because it's just not been their kind of game.
A nice gain of 13 yards as it brings up a first down. They'll stick with A-Chain. And he runs this one down to the 22-yard line. It's a solid 7-yard pickup on first down. Now they're going to have 2nd and 3. They pitch it to him. And he's got it inside the 15 before going out. 8 yards on the gain, and the drive continues forward.
Most of the people watching will forget about that play in a couple minutes, but the coaches won't forget. He has that filed away the next time he really needs to pick up a few yards.
All right, all set up now. 1st and 10. Staying on the ground here with A-Chan. And he's brought down for a loss. McCarthy keeping the pedal down.
It's a loss of 2. Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 16-yard line.
Throwing from the gun. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete. Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. Operating from the gun, it's McCarthy. This throw is caught. And that's a Minnesota touchdown. Well, as they drive forward to what right now looks like it should be a win, Brock. He sure has taken advantage of a nice little chance to boost his stat line. His 2nd touchdown of the game.
Yeah, you just kind of feel these two building some trust, right? Just more and more equity. Certainly paying dividends in this one. More than likely for more games to come.
Here's Reichard set to kick this away. Starting from the 5. And he gets up beyond the 20, but they plant him a few inches into the ground to end that return. The Colts offense set to head out. They'll try to emphasize what worked on their last drive, which ended Brock in a touchdown. On first down, it's Richardson. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. Well-timed strike by that defender to knock it free. And that'll bring up 2nd down. From the shotgun, it's Richardson. Escapes his grasp. They didn't break how they wanted it, and he throws this away.
And this is why scouts talk about a using his speed, Kate. You know, once he senses the pressure, he's getting rid of that ball. It takes a player who can close quickly to get to him before it's released. And that sure altered the throw.
Richardson on third. Flushed out of the pocket. He's running for it. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a first down.
You know, these are the type of plays that really get an offense going. This is a chance for QB to inspire the guys around him. Calling his own number, carrying his teammates to a first down on that big run. That inflates an offense, and it can suck the wind out of that defense.
And he'll be taken down, but not until he reaches that 45-yard line. To the line we go. They're set, 1st and 10. Shotgun snap now to Richardson. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. One of the rare instances there, Brock, where the quick slant doesn't win against zone coverage. He just couldn't hang on to the football.
No, we know this, Kate. In man coverage, it's about that separation, right?
Yeah.
You've got to win and create leverage. Versus zone, it's all about that anticipation and accuracy. And if you're not on point, that zone defender can break it up.
And they make the stop. We're going to say it about the 37-yard line. It's the 2-minute warning here in Minneapolis. Colts hoping to make it look a little better before time runs out. Short yardage situation here. It's 3rd and 2. To throw, Richardson. Has him on the quick hitter. And this is down to the 28 before the defense halts it. It's a pickup of 9 yards. And it's good for an Indianapolis first down. Throwing with a blitz on the way. Pressure gets to him. He goes down. That's a sack. We do have a marker down. But where it's down on the field, partner, that sure looks like it's in the neighborhood of holding. Now that play went for negative yards anyway, so no need for them to accept that penalty. All right, here we go. 2nd down. Trying again, following the sack. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose, incomplete. Just couldn't hang on through the contact. So now it's going to be 3rd and long.
Defender's not going to be thrilled. The catch was almost made on his watch, but more importantly, he breaks it up. Gives him a chance to do a little jawing after the play. Lets the other guy know he roughed him up and cost him that catch.
Taken in by Pierce. And he'll get it down to the 24-yard line. Lengthy 4th down try here. They need 6. Working from the gun, it's Richardson. He's got it to his running back. And he's brought down. They're going to mark him at the 14. Now we get a timeout from the Colts. That's their first. And they still have 2 available for them as we approach the end of this game. They have themselves another 1st and 10. From the red zone now. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. Targets have far less room to work in this red zone, Brock, but down this close as a former quarterback, I'm just going to assume you got to feel like he should have been able to hold on through whatever.
Yeah, and every once in a while you get in that huddle and you remind him, now listen, guys, it's going to be contested. We know this. It's a physical game, all 100 yards up and into the red zone and end zone. But when you get down here, you've got to come up with contested catches, and he couldn't.
Looking end zone, but touchdown denied. Knocked away, incomplete. That throw doesn't lead to 6. So they're left facing 3rd and long.
You know, down here in the red zone where there's a touchdown on the line, you really want to read the quarterback's eyes as a defender. Make sure you know where that throw is going and get in position to swat it away. That is well done.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got 3rd down. They'll throw again, Richardson. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. That one intended for Adonai Mitchell. And that brings up 4th and long. You go middle of the field against zone coverage, Brock. You know this firsthand. You are throwing into rush hour. And there aren't a lot of easy completions to be found in that part of the field.
Yeah, and a lot of those throws, Kate, you're signing your guy up to take some sort of hit. It's on you to protect your guys. Credit that defense for flying around and making the play.
Timeout Indianapolis. That's its 2nd. They'll break the huddle and come up on 1st and goal. They are throwing it again. And he has the Indianapolis touchdown. The Colts putting up points in a game decided. It's an Anthony Richardson touchdown. Now, this one has been a long game, no doubt. But, hey, something positive to look back on there.
But they didn't quit, Kate. And I know that sounds a little cliche at this professional level, but it really is an important thing. This one will still hurt, but they showed some execution and fire.
Gay to add the extra point. Right down the middle. It's good. And the Colts make it an 18-point game. Here's Gay now to handle the kickoff. So new kickoff rules. This is going to come out to the 30, not the 25 on the touchback. The offense returning to the field now as we get a look at their wideouts. And as he accumulates catches this season, Brock, some have stuck out to us more than most. And we had one of them on that last drive as he's reached a significant milestone for himself this year. 1st and 10 now from the 30. Quick throw, right side, complete to start this drive. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs. And that completion gets him up to 400 yards in the football game. No, it's a tough mark to reach, but one that every quarterback takes pride in being able to reach, or at least challenge every so often. So it's a win for the Vikings. And just a week after being soundly defeated, they're back out there playing a much better brand of football. Short memories prevail, Brock, as they move past that loss and get back to some winning football. This has been another edition of the NFL on EA Sports. With all our crew here and my broadcast partner, Brock Hewart, I'm Kate Scott. The Vikings emerge as winners as we bid you farewell from Minneapolis.